This Candy, it is 1 o'clock Colorado time. So yeah, I guess it's like a 12. My watch is being crazy. 12:55 p.m. here in Colorado today. How are you doing? Hoping I can see everybody's comments. Can you hear me okay? I'm so excited. I haven't done a live in so long. This is going to be fun. And I have the house all to myself. I have, let me turn that down. I have, oh, good. I'm so glad. Okay. Good, good, good. I have my tablet here, so hopefully I can see what everybody's asking me here. Oh my God, that's so weird. There's like this lag. Okay, I can't watch both. If you've ever tried to watch yourself on 2 different cameras, it's really, really weird. So I'm just saying. And I talk with my hands apparently too. So how's everybody doing today? You having a good Tuesday? Because I feel like I'm having a Monday. Hi, Shelly. Welcome. Louisiana. Oh my gosh. I love Louisiana. You guys have the best food down there. I'm telling you what. I think it's been just kind of a crazy week so far, and it's only Tuesday, right, Candy? That's how I'm feeling. Having the same issues. I've been playing with the Ricoma a little bit. Let me show you what I did. Hi, Jeanette. I hope I said that correctly. Hi, Sharon. So this is what I worked on with the Ricoma. As you can see, I messed up the colors, but it doesn't matter. It turned out cool. And then this little guy, he's so cute, this little mummy. These are designs by Juju, and I am using these for a garden flag. So that's what these are. I'm actually going to be doing a tutorial on this. So this was my practice run. Yeah, I love the little mummy is, I have to tell you, it's my favorite. I thought the pumpkins would be, but it's not. It's definitely the mummy. He's so cute. So what does everybody have for me today? I am excited to answer questions and just kind of sit and chit chat for a little bit. So anything you want to ask me within reason. But if you need help with quilting or embroidery or Cricut or something like that, I'm happy to help if I can. I don't always have all the answers. Is it warm where you're at? It's fall here. Last week was kind of chilly. This week, hi C. Yeah, last week it was pretty chilly. This week is hot again, so we're back up into the 80s. I'm still waiting for fall to arrive. I'm so over summer. I used to love summer. Then I went through menopause, and I was like, I hate summer. Anybody else can relate to that? Hi. Oh, I hear you from the craziness. What size machine do you use when quilting? Your machine is well. Okay, that's a great question. All right, so let me get to Candy first. Candy, I typically use my Janome 9400 when I quilt. I believe it has an 11-inch throat space. So it is a quilting machine, but it's not a long arm machine. And it's not even a Sweet 16. It's a regular domestic sewing machine, and that's what you've seen me quilt on most of the time. I have quilted on my Singer machine, my Singer domestic machine. It's a challenge. So what I suggest is rolling your quilt so that you have enough room in the throat space, and just take your time. I know it can be a little tedious doing it because it is hard when you don't have a big open space to shove a big quilt through, which is kind of nice about Quilt As You Go. That method makes it a little easier to do it, but still, once those quilts start getting real big and bulky, it's pretty tough to do. I personally, the largest quilt that I will quilt on a domestic is a queen size, and that's really pushing it. I prefer to send out quilts that are extremely large, like queen and kings. I like to send those out to just be long-armed because they're so big. It's such a headache, and I hate sandwiching them too. I'm just gonna be honest there. I hate sandwiching them. So, but if you're gonna, if you're gonna do it on your standard machine, just take your time and find something that works for you. So like rolling it and stuff, that's really, I know, Candy. C. Erickson, I bought an embroidery machine and I am almost regretting it. Can you tell me why you're regretting it? So maybe I can help you with that. I know it can all be very tricky sometimes, and a bit intimidating too. So I totally get it. You're welcome, Candy. I do. I get it. It's hard to do. You find it fussy. Okay. What kind of machine are you working with? And what about it is fussy? Is it the thread that it uses, or is it hooping, the stabilizer? Okay, so it's a Bernina. Those are excellent machines. So I don't know a lot about the Berninas because I don't own one for embroidery or sewing, but I can say that some machines don't like certain kinds of threads, and hooping is very difficult. Okay, so you're using it for quilting, and hooping is a chore. All right, so hooping. Okay. I recommend for quilting purposes, if you're going to be using your embroidery machine for quilting, to get mighty hoops or magnetic hoops. It will save you so much time and frustration. I don't know if you saw my video on when I did it on my brother machine. The hooping was a nightmare, and it's because I have arthritis in my hands. But even if I didn't have arthritis in my hands, hooping can be very difficult, especially when you're going through multiple thick layers of fabric like you do with a quilt. And that can also be causing some of the tension issues because you're going through so many layers, and maybe you're not getting it tight enough in there. I don't know, but my suggestion would be to try a magnetic hoop. I know they're expensive, but trust me, they are worth it. I personally would not try to hoop my quilt ever again without a mighty hoop. And I bought a dog grooming set, and I still need to set it up and show you all how to do it, but I haven't yet. But I bought a dog grooming set, and I use that to hold my quilt up so that I don't have extra weight on the actual machine itself. So it just pulls up all that weight off, and it works perfectly. Have you looked at your manual to see what it recommends as far as that? Do you have to lock your machine when threading it? Do you know? I know with my brother and with my Janome, I have to lock the threads to get them into the thread discs, and that oftentimes will take care of the thread pulling like that. That's what I would look at and see. I would double check. You don't know. Actually, the one that I got it off of Amazon, and it is Candy. So the dog grooming stand that I have, I got it from Amazon, and it's actually in my Amazon store if you want to take a look. If you look down below in the description box in this video or any of my videos, you should be able to see the Amazon store there, and I have it in there as a quilting must-have. I bought 2 of them. I think they were like $40 each, and of course I had to have them in pink because you know I love pink. But yes, check that one out. It's just a basic dog grooming set. You just screw it onto your table, and it comes. You'll need to buy the clips to go with it. Let me answer these other questions, and I'll try and flip it around and show you because I have one set up, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Valerie, what is the easiest free motion stitch for a beginner on a domestic machine to try? I recommend doing a stippling stitch. That is the easiest. And the way that I look at that is like, whatchamacallit? Like a puzzle piece. And yes, like a squiggle, exactly. What I like to do before I start doing any free motion quilting is I get a pen and a piece of paper, and I just draw squiggle lines on it just to get my hands kind of ready for that motion. And then I will get a quilt sandwich together, and I put it on my machine, and I just sit there and I just kind of go through until I get my groove. When I'm confident and comfortable, then, excuse me, then what I do is I'll try it on the real deal. And it's always scary when you try to do it on the real deal. Just understand that nobody is a perfect quilter. Okay. Everybody, it doesn't matter how long you've been quilting, everybody's quilts have some kind of a little mess up. And so, yeah, it just takes a lot of practice, and you will get it. And don't be hard on yourself. Okay. Yes, or cursive capital C. That one is my favorite to do because I like to do the C's, and they turn out really cool. I did that on a disappearing 9-patch quilt that I made for a charity auction, and I was really, really hard on myself. I almost didn't auction it off because I thought, oh, this is just no good. But the person who actually won the quilt loved it, and he gave it to his wife for her birthday. So just remember, you're your own worst critic, okay? It just depends, Candy. What size do you use for your quilt sandwich? You're welcome, Valerie. It just depends. I like to use like just a regular 10 by 10 square, or I'll use a 15 by 15 inch square, depending on how much practice I think I need. And yeah. And then, you know, you can save those squares, and eventually you can use them to put them together as blocks in another quilt. So Don't throw them away. And you'll be able to see your progress as you become a better quilter. This one comes from Bonbon Manel. I hope I said that right. When embroidery, do you change needles for different fabrics? For example, when embroidering on denim, do you use a denim needle or an embroidery needle? Thanks. Yes, I do believe that you can. I have not personally done that as of yet. And I will be honest, I'm pretty new to the embroidery world. So I have mostly just done like canvas, I've done cork, and I have done t-shirts. But I do believe you do need a denim needle if you're going to do a denim jacket. And actually, I will be doing a denim jacket because I'm going to do some for my grandsons for Christmas. So the answer to that question is yes. But you can just use regular needles if you're doing cork or if you're doing this canvas or a t-shirt. They do make needles for like stretch knits and stuff like that, kind of like the same as you would on a sewing machine. This is the kind of cork that I use. As you can see, it is very thin. So, and I use this to make my little hand sanitizer holders. Let's see. I was going to try and show you my little thing. I don't know if I can flip this. I can. I'm going to lift this up really quick. So if you get dizzy, just know why. You see that pink stand right there with those hooks on it? That is the dog grooming set. And it just screws on to my table. And then I just use it to lift my quilt. So yeah, it comes in really handy. Really, really, it's a very inexpensive way. I know that there's a really fancy contraption out there that you can purchase to get your quilt lifted up. And honestly, for the price of that, this works, I think, just as good. In my opinion, I don't know. I don't know. Take it as you will. I have a lot of projects that I want to get done. I feel like there's so many projects and I just don't have enough time to do all of the projects because I just want to do all the projects all the time. And then regular life gets in the way and I'm not able to do all of the projects all of the time. So I have several that are lined up. A lot of them are going to be embroidery driven, and because I want to incorporate the embroidery more so than what I have been. And I have a lot with my serger and my cover stitch. I want to start diving into that and doing some tutorials with those. I just want to offer you all kind of a variety of things that you can learn, and I can learn too. So, because I always learn new things too. And if you have, advice and things, I mean, I've learned a lot from you guys. I get a lot of comments and stuff where people will tell me, some little hacks on how to do things, and they work. So I'm always learning too. So I really appreciate your feedback. I do want to tell you that. Do you have any? Thank you. Are there any other questions? Do you have any suggestions for upcoming projects? I mean, I have a ton, but I would be happy to start writing some down on things that you might want to see. And then I can put them on my calendar. Got my fancy Sharpie. I do make bags. Oh, thank you, Candy. I really do appreciate that. Yes, I do make bags. I've made tote bags. I've made, I don't have any down here. I gave it to my sister. I've made denim from old blue jeans. I've made some bags that way. I have made tote bags that are, how do I want to say this? They have more of a form to them. I'm actually going to be doing one of those. Where did that fabric go? I'll just show you one of them that I had planned to do it with, is this really beautiful butterfly fabric. So I will be doing that as well. I enjoy making the bags. Those are a lot of fun. They really, really are. But the last one I made, yes, I did. I gave it to my sister because she wanted it. I made a rainbow bright bag. I don't know if you saw that one. That was in one of my videos that I did too, where I kind of showcased that. That's a really good question, Bonbon. The question is, what machine would you recommend for thick fabrics? I have broken needles on my regular domestic machine. I need a stronger one, I guess. Sorry, dry air. I use a Janome machine. Like I said, it's the 9400. That one is pretty much a workhorse. And then I know they have another one. Janome makes a machine that's a little more industrial if you're looking for something that's a little stronger. I'm trying to think. Juki. I've heard that Juki's make some really strong machines like that too. I have not sewn on a Juki, so I cannot say for sure. But I would look at that one. I would look at the Juki, and I would look at the Janome. Gosh, I can't remember what it is. It might be like the 6700P, and then there's another one, but I just don't remember off the top of my head. I do apologize. Yeah, those are the only two that really come to mind when I think of industrial type machines that will sew through like really thick fabrics. Thank you, Valerie. I like your chair. Where did you get it? And are there arms? So I did get this chair off of Amazon. And again, this chair is also linked in my Amazon store. It's down below in the description box if you'd like to check that out. I am an affiliate, so if you do purchase anything through those links, I do make a small commission. But I have everything linked to the things that I have in here. And I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to show you that, yes, this chair has arms. I love this chair. It is so comfortable. Very, very comfortable. I have another one too. I have a red one, and I actually prefer this pink one. It just seems to fit me a little better, and I think it's because I'm so stinking short that it just works that way. So what is your favorite quilting project to do? Scrap ones. Okay, Candy. And when you're doing scrap projects, do you like to make like blocks that are that have a specific pattern with them, or do you like to just kind of throw it together as you go? Look at my hair. It's going weird. I think I need to cut my hair. Okay, so you generally do a 4 patch with 5-inch squares. Okay, cute. Those make such cute quilts. They really, really do. As a matter of fact, I have a bunch of 5-inch squares that I probably should pull out and start working with. I have a bunch of charm squares that I haven't used yet. Oh, I know what I was going to show you. I was going to show you this other bag. See? Squirrel! This is a bag that I made. This is just like a little wristlet bag. It's a little bigger than, you know, normal, but I put, this is where I put all of my receipts for the Crafty author. For all the things I buy for the craft room, and I just stick them in here, and then I have them when I need to do my accounting. Okay, so I've seen some really nice quilts for hanging, and since I'm new to quilting, they're smaller. Got any suggestions for kits? Fat Quarter Shop actually has some really nice kits for wall hangings and things like that. So does Missouri Star Quilt Company. I don't know if you've ever checked them out, but I do know that they do have some kits that way. I usually, when I do wall hangings, I usually just make the pattern up as I go, make it up myself. And make it a little smaller. I think I'm looking at one right now in case you're wondering what I'm looking at over here. I made one and I did it with, I can never remember the pattern. Anyway, I think it was like 30 by 30 inches, and that was the perfect size for a wall hanging. So you can use basically any kind of quilt pattern that you want if you know how to make the block, and then just put it together and just don't make it quite as big, you know, into a quilt. So if you wanted to do, for instance, a 30 by 30, you could make 10 and a half, you know, 3 rows of 10, or sorry, 3 blocks of 10 and a half across, and then, you know, and down, and then make it smaller that way. I hope that made sense. Candy, but I have done them totally wherever they go. I cut a 9 or 10 inch paper and just sew scraps on this and cut it. Yeah, I think that's a fun way to do that. Definitely. Okay, Patricia. I am making my first quilt, a trip around the world pattern. Can I use regular thread or do I need quilting thread? I made a trip around the world quilt. It was fun and it was challenging. So I want you to tell me how your journey is going with that, because, oh my goodness, are you brave? I'm not sure I understand the question of regular thread or quilting thread. What kind of regular thread are you using? Can you tell me exactly what you're using? Thank you, Mary. Yes, Jordan Fabrics also has lots of kits and patterns. Yes. I don't know if they have a lot of kits for a wall hanging, but they certainly do have kits for quilts. She does a lot of kits. That is true. So Patricia, for quilting, for piecing, I like to use a Mettler thread, and I got that at my local quilt store. I have also used Coates & Clark from Joann's, and I have not had any issues with it at all. The only difference that I find between the Coates & Clark and the Mettler threads is that Coates & Clark is a little more linty. So if you don't mind that, then that is fine. I mean, your quilt is not going to fall apart if that's what you're asking. So you can definitely use whatever thread you would like to use. For quilting the quilt, though, I would recommend doing, I would recommend using a quilting thread for sure. It was bulking. Okay, so yeah, so I would definitely recommend, if you're having issues with your thread, I would recommend changing it. And I would love to show you some thread that I have so that you can see what I'm talking about. Give me just a second here. I'm gonna hop up and grab some thread. Okay, sorry about that, but I want to help out here as much as I can. This is Gutermann thread, and I get this at Joann's, and I do piece with this, and this works great. So it comes on a spool like this, and this is 800 meters, and I believe it's 100% cotton, so it is quilting thread, and it looks like it's 50 weight. So I would try this if you're looking to do something like this. I'm trying to remember how much this one was. I think they make them in a smaller spool, but this one I think was like $12, something like that. But if you go with your coupon, you can get it for way less. And I recommend using really good thread on a quilt. I've also quilted a quilt with this thread. Okay, so you can use it for both. Just make sure you get enough thread to do it. This is Mettler thread, and this is what I picked up at my local sewing store. And this is also 100% cotton with a silk finish. And this one is also 50 weight. So, yeah. You're welcome, Patricia. I'm glad I was able to help. So, yeah, that should help with the breaking and stuff like that, for sure. And I want to wish you luck with that trip around the world quilt, because they are so challenging, but when they are done, they are amazing. So if you start to get frustrated, just remember, you got this. Okay, good question. Candy asked if I use all-purpose thread for piecing and use quilting thread for top quilting, should I change my all-purpose thread? I just like to use the, like I said, the 50 weight, even 40 weight for piecing. I just find that it makes it a lot easier to do it. You can piece with whatever you want, really. I mean, there's really no rule or right or wrong way to do any of this. It's kind of whatever works for you. But I'm just coming from personal experience here, because I've used a lot of different threads and things like that. And I do find that there is a difference between all-purpose thread and quilting thread. Quilting thread is, I feel like it's a little bit sturdier, a little stronger, and I like it for piecing. I feel like it holds the quilt together better, especially if you're sewing pieces and then slicing through them, you know, and then adding more pieces to them. So I really learned this lesson when I made my Harry Potter quilt and I was doing paper piecing, because you're talking about, you know, sewing, whoops, a bunch of little pieces together, and then, you know, you're cutting. So you're always cutting and sewing, cutting and sewing. And so you wanted to use really, really good thread for that. And that's actually how I became to start using this, because I used to think, oh, it doesn't really matter. It does and it doesn't. In my opinion, I would use a quilting thread. And so, yeah. And so if it were me, Candy, to answer your question, yes, I would change my thread. I would stay consistent with whatever you're using. I'd stay consistent with the quilting thread. I feel like your quilt probably won't fall apart if you do that. You can also quilt with embroidery thread. I don't know if you knew that. You can actually quilt with polyester thread. I've done that. I use a 40 weight when I do it. I think you'll find it's a lot easier to work with too, actually. Just make sure that you're doing it both in your top and your bottom. So your bobbin and your top thread should match, actually. And sometimes if you use, I want to mention this too, because I get asked this question as well about bobbin thread and top thread. So even if you're using the same brand of thread, same weight of thread, whatever, if you are using this in your top and you're using, like, let's say white in your bobbin thread, because it's not the same thread, sometimes you can have issues with that as well. So just kind of remember that. You usually just want to stick to the one thread. I have an issue because I like to change it up when I'm quilting, so I'll do a different color on the back and, you know, a different color on the top, and sometimes you can see it. Are there any more questions? Don't be shy. This is I've been working on these little notebooks. I think I showed you some of them, but I was going to show you. Here's one. I did the cover. I got that made. And then today I cut out the inside for it, the inside cover. Isn't that cute? The little Mickey Mouse. My puppy, oh my goodness, Jax is doing so good, Candy. He is getting so big. He weighs, well, last week when we took him in, he weighed 54 pounds, and he's 7 months old. And he is doing great. He's ornery, and he gets really upset and mad at you if you don't give him your food. So, but other than that, he is just the sweetest little guy. I just love him. I've been working on my husband to get a kitty too, and he's like, no. But I will win that fight too eventually. Mary, did you finish your t-shirt quilt? No, I have not finished it yet. I had every intention to finish it last Friday, and I got shingles. So I didn't even do a video last Friday. Yeah, it was really rough. So I still have the borders to do. I haven't done those yet. I did the one that I showed you how to do. And I'm hoping that this week I will get to it and we will be able to start finishing those t-shirt quilts. And I do appreciate everybody's patience, but boy, I could hardly function on Friday at all. So I get shingles on my face. I don't get them very often, but when I get them, they are really, really painful. So I have one under my nose, and then they go inside of my nose. And my nose is really itchy right now because it's starting to heal, and it's driving me completely crazy, to be honest. So I am feeling better. I hate it, though, because it wakes me up at about 3 o'clock every morning, and I just wake up and my whole face just hurts. And I don't know if you've ever had shingles before, but the medicine that they treat it with is almost as bad as having it. Almost. Not quite, but almost. So the medication gives you terrible, terrible headaches. So, yeah. But I am feeling better, so that's the positive. So I'm happy about that. But boy, man, it was rough. So thank you. I really do appreciate that. So hopefully this week the t-shirt quilt gets done. And honestly, I want to be done with it. Hi, Jackie. Because I want to snuggle on with that thing. Thank you, Mary. Because I think it'd be great. It's warm. It's so warm. What was I going to tell you? I don't remember what I was even going to say. But yeah. Yep, it's just sitting over there waiting for me to finish it up. So what are you all working on? What projects are you all working on now? Hi, Penny. Very nice, Candy. Is it like a holiday table runner or? Nice, Penny. Well, sometimes that's the best thing to do. Oh, those mermaids are so cute, Jackie. Oh my gosh. Nice, Candy. I love fall. It's my favorite. I should make another fall table runner. I put my Halloween one up on my table. I was going to decorate for Halloween this past weekend, and then I was like, nah. But I have so much Halloween stuff that I need to get put out. I bought big pumpkins at Costco this weekend. I got 2 of those. So we're getting ready around here for that. I don't even celebrate Halloween. I just like some of the decorations. I think they're so cute, and my grandsons love it because they come and help us decorate, and they love to trick or treat. So it's fun. We have a lot of fun. What am I working on? That's a good question. I am working on these books. I was just showing these. So these are those notebooks for the Patreon supporters that I was telling you about, those gifts. And I did this little garden flag. And I did the wrong colors on my pumpkin, so, you know. But this little mummy guy is so cute. And then today I'm actually going to work on some t-shirts. I'm going to be making a t-shirt for myself. It's a Halloween t-shirt. It's cute. I'm thinking about selling them. Bon, I totally understand. So that's cool. Duffel bags. I haven't done those yet. And I hear you on starting another project while you're still working on one, because I have many that are like that. I'm actually thinking about maybe doing like 1 day a week on this channel where we all just take some time, maybe even doing it live, where we just sit down and we finish up our UFOs or outstanding projects that we need to do. That way they will get done. So even if it's like 15 minutes a day, just to get them done, because I have so many of them that I need to get done. Hi, Delia. Good to see you. I still have projects from the springtime that I haven't finished. So that tells you where I'm at. And I'm still working on my store. I'm working on filling it. So I need to get all that done. So I have been, Jackie, I know. That sounds like me. I need to sandwich them and quilt them. I have been looking into getting a license and all kinds of stuff so that I can buy a bunch of wholesale items, because I'd like to offer some things up like thread and things like that. So I've been looking into that, and it's just everything is so time consuming, you know. I got to research before I do things. I'm a researcher. That probably comes from being an accountant and being very, very logical thinking. I have to think everything through before I do something. Otherwise, yeah, otherwise it's a hot mess. So probably drive my husband crazy. Actually, I know I drive him crazy. Oh, that's nice, Penny. Cool, getting the crops out. Well, I hope the rain holds off too, because that's no good. Thank you, Candy. I have. It's crazy. Crazy. I can't, Jackie, no, because his is a completely different entity. Yeah, it would be great if I could, but I can't. So, and he doesn't do any kind of resale. His licensing is different. He's actually an S Corp. And when I was writing as an author, I was an S Corp, but I don't think I want to do another S Corp. I'm thinking about just doing an LLC, and then I have to have a resale license and a wholesale license, which is not a big deal to get. It's relatively easy. It's just, you know, having to go and fill out all the paperwork and then go and open up all the banking accounts and get all of the accounting ready and that sort of thing. And me being an accountant, it gives me headaches. I'll just be honest. It just gives me a headache. Yes, state, city, and county. It's state. Yeah. You're right, Candy. And all the sales tax that I have to pull out. So there you have it. There's the honesty. I know. See, it gives everybody a headache. It's just like, oh, I don't want to do it. I know. I keep asking myself this. Do I really want to work this hard at everything? Or do I just want to just keep going the way I'm going? Patricia, that's a good question. She asked me, what type of books do you write? Are they crafting books? Once upon a time, I did write a crafting book. I wrote a book on how to make diaper cakes. And I used to make some very, very intricate cool looking diaper cakes. But after that, I started writing romance suspense books. And I only have one that is available on Amazon. I pulled the rest of them off. But yeah, I used to write romance suspense. And I don't write anymore. I mean, I shouldn't say I don't write anymore. I still write, but I don't actively publish books anymore. I just kind of write for myself. Oh, really, Jackie? So Arizona requires one for all Etsy stores. We don't have that requirement here unless you're selling over a certain amount. But I want to be able to purchase things at a wholesale price so that I can start selling on Shopify and in Etsy and do it legit. Candy, my name was Allison Rains. I'll put it in here. This is how it was spelled. It is. I love to write. It's very, very relaxing. And I get asked a lot, like by my friends here, if I'm going to continue writing. And I just don't really have the time for it right now. It is Delia. The name of the book is Kiss of Summer. It's a new adult novel. New adult is, it's centered around teenagers. It's not like my usual romance suspense. It was a little bit different. I loved writing this book. And the reason why I actually wrote this book was because my grandmother had asked if she could read one of my books. And I had kind of a conflict because of the things that I wrote. I really didn't think that they were appropriate for my grandma to read. Although my grandma used to read romance novels, so I don't know why I thought that. But anyway, now that I'm a grandma, I know what I read. So anyway, so I wrote this, and this book is actually there's a lot of my family in this book, like my grandparents. Like this girl's grandfather is actually based off of my grandpa. So, hi, Gail. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Delia. Penny. Yeah, so Amazon has it. I think I still have it on Barnes and Noble too, if you have a Nook. So yeah. It's a cute story. It's my favorite. There is some bad words in there, so I'll warn you of that. There's some swearing, but there's some very funny parts in this book as well. Now I want to go write a book, you guys. It was actually supposed to be kind of a series, and I ended up not finishing the series. I just wrote the one book. Yeah, it's a great story. Right, Delia? Yeah. I figure most people probably have, but I like to give the forewarning, because some people don't like that kind of stuff. Yeah, time to stand. Yeah. So yes, I have a lot of stories. I've written a lot. They're all on my computer. Maybe someday I'll publish them all again. But for now, they're all on hold. I figure the world has enough craziness in it. I don't need to add to it. Wreck the books. Oh, yes, Gail, I'll put it down here. It is Kiss of Summer by Allison Rains. Exactly, Delia. You can't do it all. That's right. I'm just at I think a point in my life where, yeah, I can't really do that right now. I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to do right now. And, you know, someday I may pick it back up. You just never know. I have paperback copies of all the books that I wrote with all of the different covers from the different publishers that I had published with. I have a copy of each one for my kids, and I signed them. So not that they're going to be worth probably anything because I was not like some big author, but yeah. So I do have those. Yeah. Yeah. You guys want to see them? I'll show them to you if you want to see them. Thank you, Candy. It's been great. You have a wonderful day, too. I appreciate you joining us today. Okay. Let me go get them. I'll be right back. Give me just a second. Oh my goodness. Okay. You sure you want to see these? All right, so I will show them to you. So when I used to go to book signings, these are the bags that I would put the books in for people who would make a purchase. And as you can see, I signed them. Okay. My husband screen printed these for me because my father-in-law and my husband used to own a screen printing shop. So they printed all those bags. Those are little backpacks. This is a coloring book that I was a part of. This is an adult coloring book. This was donated to charity. Let me see if I can find my... I don't even know if I can find it anymore. Yep, right here. This was my coloring page. Isn't that cool? Oh, cool, Jackie. Oh, boy. You're going to have fun with that one. These are all of the authors who were in there. I don't know if there's any names that you would recognize. There probably are. There were some pretty famous authors that were involved in this coloring book. But yes, so this is a coloring book, and we all had different coloring pages. It's just this is kind of fun to go through. I haven't looked at this for a while. This was my book signing that I went to in Las Vegas. And I kept all of my little tags and goodies. Oh my goodness, how fun. Okay. All right, we're going to get into some books now. I designed some of these covers. This was the first cover for Deception. It was actually called Fixer of Deceit. And then I got picked up by a publisher, and that was the cover for Deception. So it was called the Fixer series. But wait, there's more. Lots more. Okay, let's see here. Okay. This was the last cover. So this is the cover that I designed for it. So this was Deception. That's the back. And then, no, wrong one. Okay. Then it was Promiscuous is the second book in the Fixer series. And then Redemption is the third and final book in the Fixer series. Okay. And then, oh man, this is so funny. I haven't done this in so long. Oh, this was Promiscuous. That was before. So I have all different covers for these. This was Redemption's cover at one point. This was also Redemption when the publisher had it. So you see how it's kind of morphed over the years here. Okay, let me put these ones away, and then I'll show you the others. What do you think so far? Crazy, right? Okay, there's those. Okay, so this is the original cover for Tristan. So this book, Tristan, this is the cover I designed for that. So this book here, is based off of a character from the Fixer series. He was best friends with the main character, and he was part of the Russian mafia. So that's what this book is about. It's based on his life. And then this is Kiss of Summer. So, and here's the synopsis for Kiss of Summer. Jesse Austen has led a troubled life. Abandoned by his parents at a young age, Jesse chose to run with the wrong crowd and found trouble with the law. Summer Jacobs is stuck living her mother's dream of becoming an Olympic figure skater. An avid reader, Summer prefers visiting her grandfather's ranch, where she finds peace and happiness under her favorite tree with her most beloved stories. Needing a break from everyday life, Summer and her friends visit the ranch one last time before they enter their senior year of high school. For her friends, it's the trip of a lifetime, but for Summer, it's a struggle distinguishing between finding peace and falling in love with a troubled boy. So there you have it. So that's why I have all this stuff. So these are for my kiddos. And like I said, I have every different, whatchamacallit for them. And then this was some swag. This will make you laugh. Oh my goodness. Those are underwear. They're just swag. So in the book writing world, you always have book swag. And this one is for Tristan, property of. These, you would not believe it, but these sold like hotcakes. I could not believe it. But yeah. So, right, Candy, I know. Who knew? Who knew underwear would be so popular, right? But anyway. All right. Well, I am glad we got to go down that memory lane there. I haven't looked at that stuff in a very long time. In years, actually. So thank you. I'm glad you guys did that. It was fun. So I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you so much for joining me today for this live. And I guess we'll talk later. I do have to go to Candy. I got to get stuff done now. I wish I could stay and chat all day, but that's not going to happen. So anyhow, you all take care of yourselves and have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.